What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rex. In this video we are going to be taking apart this Volkswagen Beetle. This is the Rochobby Kommanderwagen. And we're going to try a new camera position as well. You guys are mounted on my chest. It's one of the best ways, I think, for a good view. I don't know if it's the best way to record, but because if I put something on the table, every time I hit the table and touch the table, it's going to shake the camera. And putting a camera next to me does not give a good angle, and I end up covering most of the work that I'm doing. Putting a camera on the other side does not look really good, and I don't have a way to put a camera above me at the moment. So we're going to try this chest-mounted camera. Hopefully it doesn't move too much on my chest. But anyway, back to this. So it's a 4-wheel drive RC model, a selectable 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive with a selectable 2-speed. The front diff is fairly tight, but not tight enough. The rear diff is very open. And because this thing has a selectable 4-wheel drive and a first gear, which is quite slow, a lot of ground clearance as well. I feel like I would like to increase the off-road capabilities by stiffening up the diffs, because when we're off-road, I find that they often unload one wheel and allow one wheel to spin while the other one just kind of sits still. And I thought it'd be cool to do a video because this is modeled very much after the real Kommanderwagen. There's a couple of videos on YouTube of somebody who's stripped off all the top and just has a chassis, and that looks really cool. Looks just like the real thing. I assume this is body on chassis, but let me see here. Okay, so I see the body and the floorboard obviously are separate. I'm wondering if I need to take I think I might have to take the doors off, because the dash might separate from the body. The dash may be connected to the base, I'm not sure. Well, the only thing I can do is start taking it apart. There was a belt here around the fake alternator that I removed because this alternator doesn't spin very well. It gets stuck right about there. There, stuck. So my plan was going to be taking this whole thing apart and cleaning it up so this does spin smoothly. Alright, if I haven't already said this, I don't actually know how to take this thing apart. I don't know what I'm doing. So let's have a look together. I'm going to guess 1, 2, 3, 4, all these 4, so there's 8 here, 10, 2 more here, 12. We'll start with those 12 and see what happens. We'll also need a magnetic strip for the screws. Hopefully my body isn't moving too much as I'm doing all this. All the screws seem to be the same. That's good. Won't be too confusing. A lot of this seems to thread into plastic, so I'll just have to be careful when I'm reassembling not to cross-thread, to cross-thread as little as possible. Meaning I'll reverse thread. I'll reverse the screw before I screw it in, so I'll get it seated in its original thread. Front screws seem a little longer than the other two. We'll keep that in mind. All 12 screws out. Let's turn it over and see what happens. Oh, yep, it's lifting. Oh, the bumper came out. Put that aside. It lifts. It definitely lifts. There we go. Okay, what's holding it now? Now we gotta figure out what's holding it. I know a lot of things are linking and touching, and there's wires probably, and there's a steering is connected somehow. So the steering servo is connected. I have to undo the ball joint, tie rod. So we've got to undo the inner tie rod in there. Something obviously in the back is holding it. Okay, so the back, the alternator pulley was holding it. And now the alternator pulley isn't holding it, but I need to disconnect some of these lights back here. Let's disconnect this one here. This board feels like it's gonna break as I pull on these plugs. Oh my goodness. This board's gonna break in half. I'm not super comfortable pulling on that harder. Let's see. Oh, it's only held with sticky tape. All right, that's not so bad. There we go. So those wires are done, out of the way. Now let's see what's in the front that needs to be out of the way. Is it just the steering? I feel like it's something else. It might actually just be the steering. Okay. So I'm gonna undo the tie rods here at the wheel ends. How will I do that? I will grab some pliers and twist those tie rod ends off. It is proving to be difficult. I'm going to take the wheel off. I'm going to take the wheel off, I guess. Is the safest way to maybe do it. All right, so we're now in head cam mode because I was finding it difficult to take out screws the way I was doing it earlier. Hopefully this camera is stable, but I feel like it's shaking on my head every time I talk or move. So I probably won't be leaving it on this camera very long. All right, now we have access to the tie rods. I'm gonna pop those off and see if I can lift the body. All right, I couldn't deal with the head cam. So I've got one wheel off. I'm gonna pop that tie rod. I'm gonna take off the other wheel also and lift it up. What else is holding this? Oh, wires? Duh, it's gotta be some wires. Oh, what a mess I gotta look at. There we go. I can kind of see which wires now. And they're pulling through. Okay, the rear is clear. I just gotta see the front now. How many? Oh, no, there's way more. There's quite a bit of wires going down in there. That whole thing just came off the board instead of the connector coming off. It's not very encouraging. All right, I'm gonna take a picture before I continue to take everything apart. All right, let me get through this and I'll come back. So we've managed to work out some of this mess. It's just wires jumbled together, and I've started labeling the wires so I know where they go. Undoing the mess here so I can push it through the hole. One wire's through, and the rest of the wires are coming in. With a bit of finessing, it can happen. There we go, everything's through the hole. The body's completely off. And there's the body with a jumble of wires inside. We'll clean that up later. Hide that for now. That's very cool. And there's a steering servo in there tucked away up the front there, mounted in the body. Very smart design because it makes it easy to take things apart. I'd like to make maybe all the switches into one big connector. How many pins would I need? Let's see, 3, 6, 4, 10. So I need a 10-pin connector if I want to make it all one thing. And the back has has one plug. Oh, I didn't need to unplug this. Look at that. Maybe I'll plug that in just so I don't forget where that goes later. Pretty sure I already forgot where this goes. Going to guess over here. Now let's have a look at the chassis. Very cool. As long as you don't look at these wires. Engine in the back. Into a transfer case. And a transmission. That is very cool. Suspension is just like the real thing. Trailing arm. Portal axles in the rear. The fronts really don't need them. Now, what we came to do. To access the diffs and tighten them up. The front diff is obviously right there. And the rear diff is, I'm guessing, clearly right there. I've got to get to it by moving all these linkages and things like that. We'll start with the front. Not sure what I'm going to use to stiffen the diffs yet. We'll have to see what kind of diffs they are first. Looks like some white, looks like white lithium grease, but I doubt it's white lithium. Here is the diff. It's so cute. It's a tiny little baby thing. Look at that. It's fairly tight. How do we get it even tighter? All right, so how do we open this up? Looks like some Allen, some set screws in here. 1, 2. Pull these off, slide the bearings off, then we'll see maybe some screws exposed. So tiny. Reminds me of working on 1/18 scales way back when there was a craze. Ooh, the grease they have in here is nice and sticky. Whatever it is, I like it. Look at these tiny little diff gears. These tiny gears, you can barely see it. So cute. All right, well, they've got some sticky stuff in there already. I don't have any more Tamiya anti-wear grease. So what can I put in here that's sticky? Let me see. Okay, I have an idea. Since it's already got really thick oil in it, why not put some more thick oil in it? I'm gonna put in 100K gear oil. Ideally, I want 500,000 I want to try, but jam it in that diff. Stuff it full. All right, now there's definitely too much in here, so I'm going to take some out to make room for the other the other pinion. All right, let's put that back together and see how it feels. Let's reinstall the front end. It's in there. That's fairly lubed from before, and I added some more lube. Tighten that up and let's attack the back. All right, now onto the back, and it looks a lot more tedious. First off, these two screws here that hold the entire motor at the back, or engine assembly. And looks like there's some mount underneath these servos. So I'll have to remove the servos, disconnect the links, take out those two screws underneath, take out these two screws, and we'll go from there. Linkages are loose from servos, lift, slide, and that's it. That shaft is in a hex pattern. Now I have this out. I have to attack this separately. I can access the tunnel from the bottom, but I don't feel like that is necessary at the moment. I can work with the vehicle attached to the motor, hopefully. All right, so if I take this cover off, these screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one side, 6, 7, 8. Should be able to take this side off and access the diff. But if I want to access that alternator and fix it to make it spin better, I'll have to take this side off anyway. But it looks like to get anything off, once I get all these screws out, I'll have to take out these set screws in here anyway, and these drive cups, in order to take the plastics off. So, drive cups, plus 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, let's get working. All right, I'm back. Let's try this now. This is a knife. It's known as a knife for watches to take off the back plates. Hooray! So we're here, we are walking to the spot that I was here at last week. It was an incline by this tunnel. Anyways, it's an incline that had trouble going up. So let's see if it has any trouble going up now that the diffs are a lot more solid. All right, so in case you didn't see the other video, this is the incline. So it goes up here, and then there's quite an incline here. But behind this wall is the same type of incline, but in dirt. Now, it is wet today, so it's going to be different. Unfortunately, it won't be the same test parameters. It was dry and very loose dirt the last time we were here. But we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. All right, we're gonna go ahead and gun it up this first hill. Uh-oh, we're gonna have to go into first gear. It's having some struggles, I can feel. But already, I mean, there's way less wheel spin than there was, but look at that. Mind you, it's not as dusty and slippery as last time, but this isn't even a challenge anymore. All right, well, we're at the top of the hill. All right, so now we're at the top. I guess let's go ahead and finish it. That was Too easy now. It was almost not fun. See what else I can find to do. All right, I got it. Instead of going up to the top, we're gonna go left here, which is quite a bit of a step up for this thing. You'll be able to see the incline difference. Oh my goodness, no problem. I need to come back when it's dry and dusty. There's way too much traction right now. That's way too easy. It's not going to dry up in time. I got other things to do. But it's nice to see that the results of the work are there. I know that there's a lot of traction, but I'm sure that the tightened diffs are doing their work. So that's it. I made it, no problem. Hope you enjoyed the video and make it a great day.